Hello y'all, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be turning random words into character designs. The first three words that I got were green, teeth, and fear, and I assigned them to a certain part of the body, just to make it like a bit more easier to manage. So for the body I was just going to do like the skin color be green, because the only other thing I could think of when it came to green is like envy. For like teeth, I wanted to try to incorporate it in like how you have your first four teeth and then your canine teeth. I wanted to incorporate that into her front bangs, but it got a little lost in translation as like her hands are covering it. And for the pose being fear, I wanted her hands to be like covering her face, showing that she is hiding herself from something, she is in fear of something else nearby, or she's looking at something that she doesn't entirely want to be looking at. This is probably, out of all of them, this is probably the easiest one for me to do, and the one that I got done the fastest. Simply because I was able to get, like, an idea down for everything pretty much almost instantly. And everything else would prove to be not as easy, you could say. I decided to make even the shading and like the lighting lean towards more of like greens and yellows, just to keep it on more of like a greenish theme. Just because working in like monochromatic colors is really nice. The only colors on her that aren't green are the hair, which is supposed to lean more towards like a teethy yellow, and that. And here she is, the final product. This next one is definitely interesting. I leaned a lot into the word manly and offending because I had a really hard time with strap. I didn't know what to do with it. And keep in mind, these aren't words that I was like getting from anybody. I was literally just going on to random online generators and being like, give me a word. And they certainly did. I don't know why, but my favorite, like, more masculine-leaning, like, quote-unquote manly haircut has to be, like, slicked back hair. I don't know why, but it is literally, like, for me, it is the hottest thing for somebody. For straps, I put straps all over him in the original design, but I ended up just going with the few main straps and leaving out, like, the upper band on his arm and the bracelet on his wrist. For, like, the offending part of his design for pose, I did some offensive hand sign. I did him flipping everybody off, because that was honestly the first thing I can think of. And it seems to fit him really well. I didn't really have anything from these words to really go off of when it comes to colors, because none of these things really have colors assigned to them. If you had said, like, anger or, like, royalty, you have, like, red or purple, but with this one, it wasn't... There were no words assigned to it, so I did have to, like, mess around with colors, and eventually I had to put, like, a solid thing underneath. Like, a solid color underneath to, like, blend them all together, because they were looking a bit clashy. I tried to make his eyes lean more towards silver, but it does seem that, like, looking at it now, that they lean a bit more towards blue than anything else. At this point, I thought I was putting that green color underneath him. I was not. I had to completely delete and restart that layer, because I drew on the wrong layer, which is so very fun. I always blush my characters. It makes them seem a lot more lively, and for him I decided to stick with more of an orange, since everything is leaning more towards, like, darker colors, and it just really seemed to fit him. For some reason, with how this character was turning out, every time I was adding, like, light, it looked like he was in the shadows of a dark alleyway, and this light was just like sunbeams hitting him from afar. I tried to fix it up with, like, another adding layer here, but I don't know if it did. I think it only like, lent itself to that idea. but I really had fun with this one. And here's the final result. For this next one, the words were spiritual, nauseating, and quarrelsome. I had no idea what to do, so I really just took the word, like, spiritual for the body and ran with it. So what I decided to do is I stuck with, like, spiritual, like, religious, and I tried to draw, like, them similar to a biblically accurate angel at first for the first sketch. But I end up ditching the ring of eyes around them. I probably will use it for a character in the future, but right now it's just not looking like that's what should have been done for this character. I did struggle with the hands for a second, but I eventually got them down. I had a lot of fun with the wings, though. I did end up keeping one thing of the wings. I got rid of the other because I thought it would make... Like, I thought it would be too claustrophobic for the character, and I'm glad I stuck with that because I'm really happy with the end results. For the hair, I know the hair was supposed to be, like, nauseating, but I tried to think, like, if I'm posing this off of a, like, really old spiritual angel, like a biblically accurate one, then people back then would think, like, really short hair is really weird and gross and wrong, even though, like, today it's really normal for people. So that's what I decided to do. This one definitely took me the longest, because of how much, like, pushing and pulling I did of the, like, the lights and the shadows, but I'm really happy with how it came out, though. I couldn't recreate this piece in a million years, but it does look sick as hell. I really, like, I've been doing a lot of, like, color theory and, like, studying up different colors and where they go on the body and stuff, which is how I was able to get, like, some really cool combinations of colors on the body that I would typically never put in, which is why you see me going in with, like, 19 different reds and oranges and yellows and stuff, even though I originally started out with, like, a really pale grayish tone. I don't know, it's just really nice, and once I get to, like, the pants, which I initially forgot to do, like, I ended up adding some blues and, like, hints of really darker greens, and just like on the skin, how you wouldn't suspect there would be, like, a lot of, like, actual yellows and oranges, there's, like, it does add, like, a really nice pop to it, so try that for yourself if you ever get the chance, because it's really nice. And I did try to add some texture onto the bandages around their eyes and around their chest, but I'm not sure if it came through very well. The wings were definitely the hardest thing about this entire drawing for me, because I've never drawn, like, wings and fully did them like I did the rest of the painting, or photo, drawing, whatever you call it. So it did take a lot of internet references for me to actually be able to get something that I was satisfied with, because I never would have thought that you put things like really bright reds and really bright yellows and, like, right next to where the light hits on, like white wings. I never would have done that on my own, but it honestly turned out really great. The only conflict that I have with this piece is in the end, I get rid of the black lines in the piece, and I replace them with lines that are more similar to, like, the rest of the lines surrounding them, like, color dropping all of the colors near those lines. And I'm not sure if I should have kept with the black lines or not, so if you've made it this far, like, tell me what you think I should have done. If I should switch it back to the black lines, or if I should keep them without. 'Cause I don't know if I like it with or without better. But I definitely think that it reads differently either way. Like, with colored lines, it definitely has more of a, like, painterly look to it, and with the non-colored lines, it looks a lot more like some sort of manga drawing for a cover book or something. For, like, the cover of a book. Not like a cover girl magazine. Yeah, with the rest of this is pretty much just futzing around. I did still end up giving them a halo because I really didn't like not having the headpiece that I originally did because I was really happy with it. I thought that the canvas looked really bland without something else, so I went in and added more, like, leaves to it. And this is the final piece.